What is good, Green Knight gamers, and welcome to Green Knight Gaming. This is our bi-weekly update where we give out updates and opinions on the latest games, as well as suggestions for games and general discussions. My name is Dennis.
Hi, I'm Jamar.
Without further ado, let's get right into upcoming releases.
Doom Eternal and Doom Season 4 are coming out March 20th and has been anticipated for a long time. Not going to have miscontractation, story, and
microtransactions. Not gonna have them.
I really can't talk today.
This is not EA, right? Well, it's Bethesda, so not much better, but for Doom Eternal, because it's such a big deal to so many people, they've announced that they're not going to have any microtransactions, which was a problem that a lot of people had with Fallout 76, all of the recent Bethesda flops. Microtransactions were a big part of them. So because Doom Eternal is important to so many people, they're not going to have any microtransactions, and it's coming out on March 20th along with Doom 64, which is now a port from the Nintendo 64. A lot of people are excited about.
Yeah. Half-Life is also coming out. Half-Life Alyx's full title is coming out March 23rd and is made as a launch title for the Valve Index. Valve. God,
come on.
I can't talk today, man. It's the first Half-Life game in years, and it's highly anticipated.
Everybody's always memeing about Half-Life 3. I mean, this is about the closest thing. For those of you who don't know, the Valve Index is a new VR system. It's coming out. Pretty steep price. However, it's going to be really interesting because it basically, the controllers like float around your hand and it tracks your finger movements. So you can kind of like grab stuff without actually having to like press a trigger on a controller. And it's a lot of money, but the game is really highly anticipated for a lot of people, and it looks really interesting and has a great story, and we're all really excited to see it.
The next update, Animal Crossing, finally, it's coming out March 20th. New Horizons for Animal Crossing. Really looking forward to it. Everyone's really been looking forward to an Animal Crossing game, like ever since like the last Animal Crossing on the Wii U or the Nintendo. It's just been a really anticipated game, and now we're finally getting it, and the graphics and the trailer looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
And it's really focusing on self-centered customization this year.
Also, check out, there's a lot of funny memes of like, because Doom and Animal Crossing are coming out on the same day, which are two very contrasting games. One's like killing demons, and one's like farming and building houses and enjoying your neighborhood with anthropomorphic animals. So, two very good games that a lot of people are really hyped for, and we're really excited for the upcoming games. This is a very good week for upcoming games. Up next, we're going to be talking about some general news and updates about gaming in general, starting with the Xbox Series X. Everyone knows about there's a new generation of consoles coming out soon. Xbox Series X is the next console in the Xbox chain. And even though it has been shown to have a lot of really interesting and advanced hardware, and they keep talking about all the specs and all the stats that it's going to have that are going to make it a lot more impressive, they announced that it's apparently it's going to be probably about $300, which is really cheap given all the things people were expecting. It's going to be $500, maybe even $600. But overall, it's going to be really cheap, which would be an advantage that it might have on the PlayStation.
No complaints in my eyes, to be honest. Personally, it looks like a PC in my eyes with the Xbox logo on it. But you know, it's still, with all those specs and attachments to the game, I think it's going to be a really good sell. And I think marketing at a low price can make you get a lot more of it sold. So next in news, they're finally making a Samurai Jack game in the making. Like, it's literally been announced. There's been a short trailer for it that shows you playing as Samurai Jack, attacking Aku's minions and all that. And I personally been a fan of I've been a great fan of Samurai Jack since I was like 8. And I remember watching on like Adult Swim and all that, and it looked amazing as a child. And now they're actually making a game with like the full arcs of him. It's gonna be really fun and interesting to see.
It's a really good idea for a cartoon to adapt into a game. Like, it's got a lot of the important parts, and it's got a really interesting story and world. Up next, The Last of Us. It's a really popular game. It's coming out with an HBO series, which if there's any game that's really going to work in an HBO series, it's probably The Last of Us. It has a really like dark, interesting storyline and world that can be really well integrated into an HBO series, like a lot of things. And you know, usually when they come out with series based on stuff like The Witcher or whatever, I'm not always too excited, but this is something that I think they're really going to do a good job on.
Next, Plague Inc. has been removed from the Chinese app stores. Yes, you heard me. The coronavirus has done that much of an impact on the world, and that in China that they removed it from their app stores. So I really don't know why, but I'm guessing it's...
I mean, the Chinese government has just decided that it's too sensitive for them to have Plague Inc. A lot of people have been spreading jokes and memes about coronavirus and Plague Inc. So they felt it was better overall to just remove it from the App Store entirely.
Yep.
Finally, as always, we'll be wrapping up this update with 2 suggestions for each of us of games that we think you should play and check out. First up, I'm going to start. There's a game called Screen Sheet. It's been out for like 5 or 6 years, and it's had a lot of updates over the time, but basically the premise of the game is everyone is invisible, and the way you play it has a split screen for everybody, and you have to use the environment. Like the map is really colorful, and like there's a lot of landmarks and stuff, and you have to find out where people are based on their screen. So you look at their screen, find out what they are, and it's basically a team deathmatch or capture the flag or something, but everyone's invisible, and you have to like use what they're seeing to figure out where they are.
It's back in the day with Call of Duty against your little brother and bigger brother, basically screen cheating, but
Yeah.
you have to screen cheat in order to actually win
Yeah,
now.
it's a game based on screen cheating.
That's insane. All right, for my first game, I'm gonna go with a game that's been out for a while and it's been getting constantly updated and better for the past couple of years. Warface. Warface is a similar game to Rainbow Six Siege, but it's first person and it's very fast paced. You go through all these different types of high tech missions, and you and a couple of friends, like 5 to 6 friends, going as a squad, and you have to extract a hostage and go up against these crazy technology and all that. And it's really, really interesting. At first, when the game first came out, it wasn't that big of a deal, but then as time went on, they added just gear and chests and all that, and it's really blown up. I'm reinstalling it when I get home because there's this recent update that added like a ray gun in the game, and it has like a zombies one in it now. So it's really, really interesting. It's free on both PS4 and Xbox, so look it up, go for it, and have fun.
My next game is heaveho. It's by a development studio called Devolver Digital, which is a studio that I think I've played with so many of their games, and I think every time they come out with a game, it's pretty fantastic. heaveho has a really cool art style, but it's really a cheap, simple party game where you basically have to navigate the map by swinging with each other. So you have to like grab the other person's arms, and they have to like grab a wall, and you have to get through the map, basically only using each other to swing around and get to the end. It's really simple, and it leads to a lot of laughs. It's funny to play with other people because there's a lot of dependence you have on other people. And overall, if you're just looking for something to play for fun, wherever, it's a pretty good game.
My next game, last game, is gonna have to be an actual mobile game. If you know about it, it's Duel Links, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Duel Links is basically Yu-Gi-Oh! On your phone. You can get different types of decks, powerful cards, and you can go head to head with some of the famous characters like Yami Yugi, Joey Wheeler, all the good characters, and you can build any type of deck that you want, and even go up against friends. The competitiveness in that game is insane. I know a lot of really good students in this school is actually really good at Duel Links, so shout out to the kids in Mount who are actually still playing Duel Links and are still running the game in Mount.
Well, that seems to be all of our updates and releases for this week. If you enjoyed it and want to see more, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So if there's something we missed, something you want to talk about, maybe a suggestion on even the music, you might hear the Undertale music that we're playing right now. If there's something you want to suggest, just leave it in our GKG Discord server. The link will be in the description to give us suggestions or feedback, or even just talk about gaming in general with other Green Knight gamers. That's all for this week. Stay tuned for our next special episode on Tuesday on Green Knight Gaming here on MPH TV. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.